Hi, Hannah. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Not too bad.
All right. Cell phone charger back there if you need one.
Oh, thanks.
Did you get out and enjoy some of the nice weather we've been having lately?
You know, I always end up working throughout all of it, so that by the time I get out, it's cold.
Oh, that's terrible. You should quit your job.
I know, I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's just not conducive to nice weather.
Right? That's an issue.
Big problem. They
Yeah.
should have told me that in the job description when I signed up.
Right? If it's nice out, you're still going to have to be here. That's unfortunate.
That's what I get for not being able to work at home.
Yeah. Oh, no. So you have one of those jobs where you actually have to go to the office?
Yeah, I have to go to the hospital, so...
Oh, no. You can't save people from your house? What's that all about?
Apparently, they don't allow that anymore.
That's unfortunate. We should talk to people
Telehealth is
about
not advised. Otherwise, everyone would probably just text ChatGPT or whatever.
Oh, yeah, huh? Is this cancer? Maybe not.
Well, I'm not a health professional, but if you have concerns,
Yeah.
contact your provider.
Go
That's
to there
what
you
it
go.
always says.
Is that what it says if you ask ChatGPT?
If you ask like a specific question like that, but if you're like, oh, I have a sore throat, what should I do? It'll say like, I'm not a healthcare provider, so if this is more serious, then if you're like experiencing symptoms after everything, I advise you. You should see your provider, and then it like offers like salt water gargles and like lozenges and like things like that. And it goes through a pretty extensive list. Honestly, I was looking at it and like that's not anything that I would have even thought to recommend. And then it's like, oh, and if you're still experiencing symptoms after doing all that, then you should go see your doctor.
Interesting. Wow.
I was like, wow, that's actually like good tips. To be
Yeah.
honest.
That does make sense. So do you work in the medical field yourself?
I do.
What do you do?
Well, I'm in medical school right now, but
Okay.
I do head and neck cancer research
Ooh, okay.
with an ear, nose, and throat surgeon. So I'm not in class right now, so I'm doing that currently.
So you finished class and so now you're working with an ear, nose, and throat surgeon?
Yeah, so at least this summer I don't have like anything to do, like no rotations or anything crazy, so I'm pretty free. So I thought I'd at least make some money.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then how much longer do you have of schooling?
I'm about to start my second year in September, so I've got 3 more years of school.
Okay.
And then depending on where I match, however many years of residency.
Oh, wow. So you're like just getting started.
I know, I'm like a baby. I'm an infant
Oh, no.
in medicine.
There's so much to do and as far as schooling goes.
Oh, it'll take me forever. I'm
Yeah.
like not looking forward to it.
What are you liking about it right now so far?
About medical school?
Yeah.
Well, nothing, because it's all classroom.
Yeah.
And so your first semester, you go back to college, essentially, and you do everything that you did in undergrad, but only in one semester.
Ooh, wow.
And then the second semester, you get a little bit into more of, like, the pharmacology and, like, anatomy and physiology. And you get kind of an intro to, like, case studies and things like that, but, like, still nothing. It's, like, still, like, oh, like, this patient shows up and he has high blood pressure and he fell down and broke his ankle. Like, what's the diagnosis?
Right.
Well,
What
the
would
diagnosis is a
ChatGPT
broken
say?
ankle and he needs to stop taking his blood thinners because he needs to have surgery. Like, it's easy stuff like that.
Sure. Okay.
But, so next year it'll be more applied medicine. So I'll still have more anatomy and physiology and cadaver lab and things like that. But the physiology in the second semester of my second year will be a little bit more applied to medicine. And then third year is when we get into like, like practicals and diagnosing and diseases and pathology and things like that. So third year, our second semester of third year, we start our rotations and our clinicals. But until then, I'm just stuck in the classroom.
Oof. Okay.
Which is fine, but it's just boring.
Yeah. I'm a terrible student, so
I'm not the best either, honestly.
maybe I should have tried to be a doctor then.
I just memorize enough to get me through whatever I have to do.
I feel like that's what schooling is, right?
It mostly is.
Yeah.
Until it's applied, which is like the most important part. So for me, like I know everything that I need to know when I need to know it, and then once it's a little bit more applied, it'll make more sense.
Interesting.
Whereas right now it's just a little more vague.
Sure. And I guess that probably is the idea behind how you're learning. You're stuffing your brain full of as much information as you can,
Right.
hoping it'll stick, and you can grab it when you need it later on once you start applying.
it like is kind of tough because you don't even really need all of it throughout medical school.
Sure.
It's once you match into residency that's when they're like, okay, well, this is exactly what you need. You don't need any of that from before, but you need this.
Right.
Well, I mean, you need some of it from before, but definitely not all of it.
Sure. I honestly think if people were to be trained or training with, is this deep or no? It's the next one. Training with somebody specialized in that field from the get-go, I feel like medical education could go a lot faster.
It could go a lot faster, but it's really good to have a more, I don't want to say holistic because that doesn't really mean the same thing, but like a whole view of the whole thing before you get into it, because it does all connect, and there are like certain,
like WHOLE, whole, as opposed to hippie holistic. I get you.
It does have everything indicates something else, so it's like they all kind of piggyback off each other, so it's good to know everything, but you certainly don't need to know it all.
Sure.
You just need to know the little things that interact with each other.
I feel like they should change it from holistic medicine in the WHO holistic, because that's like the new thing of looking at it. They should call it whole-istic.
Right.
Right? Because everybody say a whole ass thing anyways.
A whole ass thing, yes. I'm going to whole ass this.
Yeah, this is just look at this whole-istically and you figure it out.
Then I would get it and I'd be like, oh, the whole ass thing.
Yeah,
got it.
now I know.
Holistic, I mean, whatever.
I'm not a hippie, but I'll whole
But I'll whole ass it for sure.
Yeah.
That's funny. I have a friend who's in, I don't know what it's called, I was honestly not paying attention, which makes me a bad friend, but she's in like school to be a holistic medicine doctor.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little bit different. She's like, well, I'm going to be an MD. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're going to be an HD, which is a lot different.
Exactly.
But you still need to know the whole body, but in a different way.
Right, because there's a certain amount, like you have to do a certain amount of study to be a chiropractor. You have to be a dentist. You have to have a foundation. And then what do you do from there?
Right.
Where is she studying holistic medicine?
Somewhere in Miami.
Oh, okay.
Which didn't make me feel very confident.
Yeah, I mean, you go to California for those.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Miami? Like, what are they teaching you?
You sure?
Like, oh, if you're sad, you go to, like, Air One or whatever that club is, Space or something.
Gosh. Yeah.
Have a night, wake up the next day, feel better, you're good.
Better. Good to go.
Although I feel like you'd probably feel worse.
Potentially. Well, just don't drink. I guess depending on how much you drink.
Which in Miami is probably a lot.
I've never been, but I think that's probably what people do there, right?
I've never been either, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I've only heard the stories, which make me assume.
Yeah. One would assume it's very backwards as far as policy goes. Very cheap on alcohol.
Well, it's part of Florida, so what are you going to do?
Exactly. Yeah.
I have been to New Orleans, though, where I felt kind of similar, where I felt, wow, you just party all the time.
Depending on when you go, it really is a party city like that.
I've only gone during Halloween twice.
Oh
so
yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was really fun. I had a great time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Never been for Mardi Gras because I'm too scared.
Too scared?
Well, it's just like a lot.
Sure. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It would be a big party. Is it more than Halloween, though? I feel like Halloween's another time where people go crazy like they would.
Oh, they totally do.
But Mardi Gras is a whole week, isn't it?
Yeah, Mardi Gras is a whole week, and I just, at least in Halloween, you can still, pass through.
Right.
Whereas during Mardi Gras, it's, really hard to get anywhere.
Right. And it's a whole ass week.
It's a whole ass week.
Whole ass week.
Whole-istic medicine.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So what are some other places you've traveled to that you liked?
I really liked San Francisco.
Okay, I grew up about an hour north of there.
Oh, cool. Where'd you grow up?
Sonoma County, Santa Rosa.
Okay. Yeah. San Francisco is cool. I liked Arizona a lot just because I love the hot weather.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thriving there a little bit. I like to, what I call, what is it, iguanas that lay out in the sun?
Oh, I tell people I'm a lizard person.
I love to just lizard all day long and lay out in the sun and just dry up and have a great day.
Yeah, I'm solar powered. I need the heat.
I need the sun.
Yeah, absolutely.
My family is from Sicily. They came here from there, so we need that hot sun.
Oh, nice. Is Sicily really hot? I had no idea.
It's so hot over there.
Awesome.
It's it's not as dry as Arizona, but it's because there's water, but it's super hot.
Okay.
I loved Arizona. I really liked San Antonio was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas was okay. I mean, it's just like another city.
Yeah.
I hate New York, but whatever.
What did you hate about New York?
I just don't like the city.
Okay.
I'm from Connecticut, so I went there a whole bunch growing up. My aunt, like, lived in Brooklyn. Like, she still lives there. She's lived there forever.
Right.
And we would go there all the time. I was very familiar with it. I just don't love the city there.
Interesting.
It's just a lot more crammed, and there's no alleys, so all the trash is everywhere. So
That's
it smells
literally
really
on the
bad.
street. Yeah, that is true.
And
I
the
get
people
that.
are mostly rude.
Okay.
They're like, no, it's the city of dreams. I'm like, no, it's the city of nightmares.
Nightmares and
Because-
garbage.
Yeah, because you'll never know who you're gonna run into, and they could be scary.
Yeah.
Like, the good parts about New York City are good. They're fine.
Uh-huh.
But the bad parts are like really bad.
Interesting. See, I've only been one time, and it definitely was not for long enough to hate it or like it. But I just want to see it more again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, the touristy stuff is obviously super cool. Like, that's great. But then, like, I mean, Soho is cool. It's just, like, really expensive. Everything there is just really expensive.
Sure. That's
so it's, like, not fun if you're not, like, a millionaire.
Right. You gotta
And
be rich.
I'm not, so.
I get that.
My twin brother actually just moved to Brooklyn.
Oh, really?
And so I'm going to visit in July. And he's like, I'm so excited to show you. And I'm like, try to keep an open mind. But I really don't like it there. Like, I'm going to go visit him, but he's never come to visit me.
Yeah, what's that all about? You're
I
in a
lived here for
world-class
like
city.
6 years.
Wow.
I don't know. He just, like, hasn't come.
But you gotta go see him, huh?
I know. He's like, well, you're already going to be home. And it's only a 2-hour train ride away. I'm like, okay, well, Chicago's only a 2-hour flight.
Yeah.
So I don't see what the difference is.
Yeah. No, that's really rude.
It's so lame. My little brother, who's only like 18, came to visit me.
Wow. So did you come out here for school? Or?
Yeah, I did undergrad at DePaul.
Okay.
And then now I'm currently at Rush, so.
Gotcha.
But I did like 2 gap years in between.
Nice. And just enjoyed Chicago?
Yeah, I just, I finished school in COVID.
Mm.
And I didn't want to start medical school in COVID.
Sure.
Just because, the idea of learning how to be a doctor online didn't seem right to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably would have been a lot easier, but that's not great, I don't think.
Right. Yeah, I'm really concerned about how adult education is going to be for people, graduates, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like, not that it's cutting corners, but like I wanted the full thing.
Yeah.
Especially if I was going to pay for the full thing.
Right. Oh, that's true, huh? They didn't make it any cheaper.
I don't think so.
No.
Because I didn't even look. But I do know it's expensive now.
Yeah, that's very true. Especially medical route. And then Rush is a good university for that.
Rush is a private, expensive university. So unless you're going to go through the whole thing and pay it out later, probably not a good idea.
Sure.
Definitely had some qualms at first.
So did you always think you wanted to work in medicine? This is something you wanted to do? No.
I always wanted to be a ballerina.
Ah.
Always. I've been dancing since I was 2. I always wanted to be a ballerina.
Yeah.
My scary Russian ballet teacher, when I was like 13 and obviously done growing, she was like, well, you're not tall enough.
Oh,
so
no.
that was kind of a bummer.
Yeah, that just.
But then I like kind of held on to it for a while because I was like, they might take short people someday. Like, whatever.
Just do the alternate ballet. Like the below 5'10".
And then I like started to actually look into it, and I realized like how not realistic that dream was.
Okay.
In terms of like wanting to like go to college, because I wanted to go to college and just like loans and like prospects after. I was like, okay, like we need to find something maybe a little bit more reasonable. Like you can minor in it, or you can dance at college. Like you don't have to major in it and like make that your whole thing. Because honestly, I was like looking at the programs and the syllabuses and the syllabi.
Okay.
And I was like, it doesn't really make sense to go to college for dance if you've been dancing your whole life. Like,
huh?
Because you already know mostly everything that you need to know.
Right.
And then everything else that you learn while you're doing it.
Right. And so would it benefit, like a lot of times people go to college to meet people, to make connections?
Yeah, if I was going to go to like a specific, like a, what's it called? I can't think of the word.
Conservatory?
Yeah, if I was going to go to a conservatory, sure.
Uh-huh.
That would make a lot of sense. Because you get a lot of connections, you meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to do that because I still wanted the academic aspect.
Sure.
So it just like did not really make sense for me.
Okay. So you said, I'll do this instead, use my brain a little more.
Yeah,
And so what made you choose medicine?
My thought process was so lame. It was just like I was sitting in anatomy and I was like, this isn't making me want to puke while we were dissecting things. And I was like, so I guess I'll do that.
Yeah, that's cool. That makes sense.
And then like while I was in college, I had a couple of jobs in the medical field where I was like, okay, no, like this is actually, I do like this a lot.
Oh, well, that's fortunate. So it stumbled on as starting with I don't hate it to I actually really like it.
It was such a lame reasoning. My mom was like, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it works for me. So
Yeah, you showed her. Good for you.
I know, she's so funny. She was like, you're not, she was like, I swear, you're not. You're going to do something else, like whatever. And I was like, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Well,
yeah, most people go to school, they go to college, they do that thing, and then when they're 30, they decide I want to do something different anyways.
right.
So who cares? Yeah.
Right. And who cares anyway? Like, everybody's path is a little bit different.
Yeah. I had this conversation with my daughter today. Like we were driving, and she's like, "I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up." And I was like, grown-ups don't know.
Nobody knows what they're doing.
Yeah, that's not a question we should ask children. Like, what do you want to do?
The idea of knowing what you're doing is an illusion.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know how to drive, but I'm doing it.
Sometimes you get from one place to the other, and you have no idea how you did it, but you did it. So
yeah, I'll just go to sleep, and then we're there eventually.
You'll space out, and then you're at your location, and you're like, great.
Done. We're both alive. Mostly.
Nobody's dead. Like, that's great news.
That's 5 stars as far as I'm concerned.
That's really funny. No, but seriously, yeah. Because I definitely get imposter syndrome a lot. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I can't even... Like, even the doctors that I work with now on this research project, they barely know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah. No,
they still have to look stuff up all the time.
All the time. And this is the 2 things I've learned about imposter syndrome, which is, one, the younger generations, like myself, I'm a millennial, but like us and younger have bad imposter syndrome because we're aware of how much there is to know, and we just don't know it. We just know that we don't know it because we're aware of what we're aware of.
Right.
Now, earlier generations were completely unaware of how much they didn't know.
Oh, of course they were.
So they thought they knew all there was to know.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that I don't know everything, because how boring would that be?
Right? It's impossible.
You wake up one day and you're like, oh, I know everything. Like, ugh.
I have all the facts. Like, no.
Like, I'd rather die than know everything. I feel like that's a lot of responsibility.
For one, you're right. On top of that, if you know where everything's going to go, everything's going to happen, that would be extremely boring, too. And a lot of responsibility. But...
And that's the one thing. Like, I don't want life to be boring.
Yeah. Can't have that. Life, the whole adventure of life is the not knowing and then finding out, figuring out as you go.
Learning new things.
Yeah, that's
like all my friends are like, aren't you like so mad that you're still in school? And I'm like, no, like it's great. Like, I mean, granted, this is what I want to do, so learning about it is interesting to me, but it's like every day I learn so many new things.
Sure, yeah.
Even if it's too many new things, I still learn them.
Yeah. I think that's great. That is what I like about like what I do. Not just with this, but I do talk to really great people all the time.
Yeah.
But I also, like, when I'm not doing this, I'm a cloud infrastructure engineer. So,
cool. Yeah.
I'm learning tech stuff, and there's always new tech stuff.
That's actually so cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
The cloud.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's amazing. Like, it's new high-tech, new things, new ways of doing stuff. I'm always learning new stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And hopefully ChatGPT doesn't take over us all.
Here's what's cool is I make ChatGPT work, so it's not going to steal.
Oh, really?
It's not going to steal my job. I don't actually make it work, but like my job is what makes that type of stuff work.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah,
You're
so
safe.
I'm good. Yeah.
I'm not sure I am, but you are at least.
Yeah, some
and
doctors.
It's just gonna be right up here.
Yeah. Let's see here. Topo Gijo. All right. Well, it was really nice chatting with you.
Yeah, it was nice chatting with you too.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
You too. Thanks.
Enjoy the nice weather.
That's the plan.